G'day folks, how you going?
Do you support a fireworks ban?
Look, I'm an animal lover, but I also love the Kiwi childhood. Most of the fun stuff's already been banned. Do we really want to take that away from them too?
What do you make of...
No, it's just I think at the end of the day, so much stuff has been banned that used to be fun. Most people are going to go to public displays anyway, but do we really need to ban the last few bits of fun that Kiwi kids have?
Do we think that it was fun as kids because we didn't really understand some of those impacts, like the harm done to animals?
No, I think they were just happier and simpler times.
What do you
is your
make of...
favourite?
Sorry.
It's alright, doesn't it?
What do you make of...
Oh, the buzzy bees, probably.
Oh, you knew I was going to ask the buzzy bee. Okay, got you.
What do you make of the New Zealand First strategy of kind of taking out and reinserting members' bills at will in order to get media attention?
Well, they want people to know what they stand for, and I guess people are going to ultimately make up their mind, are these the issues we think are important for New Zealand? For me, it's actually fixing the economy, it's fixing education, it's health. These are much bigger tasks than putting a bill in or out of the ballot for a short time.
Can MPs say that they really stand for something if they put a bill in and then are quite happy to take it out and replace it with something else? If they care about it, would they keep that bill in and see it through to the end?
Well, I mean, I had one member's bill, it was in the ballot for years, it got drawn and then we legalised assisted dying. I've used the member's bill process for what I regard as very serious topics, and I worked on that issue for 5 years. That's how I do it, others may have different ways.
Are you implying that banning fireworks isn't a serious topic?
Compared with the right to die, I would say it's probably in a different category for most people, yeah.
The government books today show that corporate tax is lower, health expenses are rising. What do you have to say about that?
Well, what we see is that the government has stayed within its spending limits. Tax has actually been slightly lower, so we've taken less money out of the economy. We've managed our spending carefully. I would rather we were shrinking the deficit faster, but altogether it shows that the government is being very cautious and very careful through difficult times. That's exactly what New Zealand needs. We cannot afford another blowout because that means inflation, that means high interest rates, it means all the misery and the loss of jobs that we're still dealing with from last time we had an irresponsible spending government.
Labour has announced a new policy today to expand free eligibility for cervical screening. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, I think it's a good idea to get cervical screening. There's no question about that, but there are also different likelihoods of developing cervical cancer at different ages and stages of life. And so if you spend more money on expanding screening to an age group where maybe you don't actually have a high chance of getting it, remember, we're taking that money away from other things like treating people who do test positive now. So all I would say to them is, look, I don't think that these kinds of decisions should be made as bumper stickers in political campaigns. That's why I support the Farmate model. Let the experts make the decisions like that.
Do you think National were wrong to promise those cancer drugs in the last campaign?
Look,
Was that also a bumper sticker policy?
Well, it's pretty clear what's happened. The government has kept the Farmate model, and I'm very proud of that.
Just on the cervical screening, my understanding is Labour's policy is not to change eligibility or change who would be screened, but to make sure that all of those who are being screened can do so for no charge. Would you support that?
Well, I mean, anyone can get a cervical smear any time they want. Well, any woman anyway. But this is a funding question, and if you fund one thing, then you're funding things that you're taking away from funding for other things, and that is the challenge here.
What do you make of the overall policy of creating a card, a single card which has all your medical information on it? You can always use to get a test or get a GP visit. Absent the funding question, just having a single card.
Look, again, I'm a politician too. I can see why they're doing it for political communication, but the serious challenge with health is actually getting into a GP. That's why we just increased capitation funding by 16% at the end of June. People actually need to get an appointment. Having a card, well, it sounds good, but if you don't fix what really matters, your card might be declined. Thank you, guys. Cheers. Hey.
Sorry, real quick. Are you still an Associate Minister of Justice?
That is a very good question. I certainly haven't done anything in that capacity for almost a year.
Yeah.
Well, since April, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the paperwork's gone in to make me not one. I mean, given that the only thing I was delegated to do no longer exists, I'm Kind of, yeah. I can find out if it's important to you. But
I was just purely curious, nothing more.
yeah, I am too now.
Let me ask you about Lifeline. They've announced that they've had to reduce their hours. They were 24 hours.
Yeah.
Now they're not operating between midnight and 7. They're saying it's because of a lack of government funding. What's your take on that?
Well, bear in mind, Lifeline's not the only organisation that New Zealand funds. I'm actually a former Kids Line buddy. I used to volunteer at Lifeline, so it's close to my heart. But I'm not close to the funding decisions. I just point to other phone services that are funded by the government, and that's something you'd really want to talk to probably Matt Ducey about.
What was it like working on the Lifeline?
Well, I wasn't working. I was a volunteer, and I went back to Kids Line to give all my money. Sorry, I went back to Kids Line and donated all my money from Dancing with the Stars. So I've had a long connection with telephone counselling and Lifeline. I volunteered for them. I donated to them, and I'm sorry to hear they've lost a contract or don't have the same funding they used to, but I understand the minister responsible has to make tough decisions sometimes. Thank you.